Perhaps this is why most pastors today, most churches today, kind of our cultural Christianity, don't talk about this very much. We stay away from this topic. Pastors and people prefer a prosperity gospel over God's refining process. And God's refining process, listen, proves that prosperity gospel preaching is a lie. It's wrong, period. Okay? And there's about 3 forms of it. There might 4, okay? And so I'm just not, spend a lot of time, right? This is my job, okay? So I just want you to know I didn't pull these out of the garbage can and, oh, this sounds good. But I'm going to give you 3 forms. There's a couple more forms of the prosperity gospel that are in cultural American Christianity, okay? And that you need to stay away from and you need to not fall into. Okay, and the first one is the most easy to identify, and that is the word of faith or seed of faith prosperity gospel, right? And it goes something like this. And these guys are all over TV and the internet, okay? I thought about naming some, but I don't want to hurt any feelings. You'll get it. It goes like this. Hey, if you will just trust God, if you'll just believe in Him, if you'll just believe in what you need from Him, if you'll sow some seeds of faith, then God will do whatever you need Him to do. You can count on Him. That is God's faithfulness. And God will keep you from hardships and trials. And in fact, the reason why you go through hardships and trials is because you doubt God. You don't have belief. You don't have perfect belief, okay? That's a lie. The book of 1 Peter proves it. It's just a flat-out lie, heretical teaching, okay? There's a second form that's more subtle. These next 2 are more subtle because the prosperity gospel started in charismatic circles, okay? But I want you to understand that it's worked its way into every part of American Christian life. Every part, okay? The second one, that's the kind of the charismatic prosperity gospel. Now we're going to talk about the conservative Christian prosperity gospel, and that's where we would fall into, okay? Generally speaking. And that's the obedience prosperity gospel. And it goes something like this. Hey, Christian, if you will live an obedient, holy, godly life, just obey God, don't break any of His commandments, then God will keep you from hardship. He will bless you. You will experience nothing but His blessing. Okay? That's a lie. It's a lie. It's a heresy. It's not true. Okay? The third prosperity gospel comes from what I would call the consumer megachurch part of American Christianity, and that is what we'll call the biblical principle prosperity gospel. And it goes something like this. It's close to the obedience gospel, but the obedience gospel is about a holy, godly life. Okay? The biblical principle prosperity gospel goes like this. Hey, if you will just apply the biblical principles about relationships, communication, money management, time management, work, those biblical principles that the Bible teaches on those things, marriage, then God will bless you and you won't have any hardship in life. As a matter of fact, the reason why you're having all your hardships in life is because you're not applying these biblical principles to your life. Okay? That's a lie. It's a lie. It's a heresy as well. Okay? Now, I'm not saying, obviously, that it's not better. It's obviously better to trust God, right? It's better to obey God and live a godly, holy life. He wants us and commands us to do both of those, right? God wants us, we just went through the book of Proverbs, and it's filled with principles for life, right? And our whole point was, hey, apply these principles to your life, and in general, your life will go better. Better, okay? Not perfect. Right? These are general principles. So it's better to trust God. It's better to not doubt. It's better to obey Him. It's better to apply these biblical principles to your life. But they will not keep you from God's refining process. They will not keep you from suffering hardship, affliction, persecution, even as you live a godly life. Right? Let me remind you, the whole point, the whole reason Peter wrote this book, this letter, is because godly, faithful, obedient, biblical principle applying Christians were being persecuted, suffering hardship, not because they'd done anything wrong, not because they had stopped applying God's principles, not because they had stopped obeying God, but precisely because they were godly, obedient, biblical principle living Christians.